What's up guys, it's your boy Manny back here again with one more review. Now today I felt like I needed to share this with you guys. I just got this in the mail. This is an iPad case, of course, for the new iPad. You know, that just came out a couple weeks ago. So I wanted to show you like a nice little accessory just in case you did pick up that iPad. You have a pretty cool accessory to add to it right off the bat. Now this case is made by Moft. We've heard about them before, we've talked about them before. They went ahead and did the little Apple Wallet case with the kickstand to it, which I thought was pretty cool, and I reviewed that in one of my other videos. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. So Moft is a pretty cool company. Now they came out with this iPad case that kind of mimics that. It adds like a kickstand to the actual iPad so you can use it in several different modes. The cool thing about it is that it folds out of the way when you're not using it. So it's only 14.6 millimeters thin when it's folded up. So that's pretty cool that it kind of keeps the same form factor of the actual iPad. And then it does have several different modes when it comes down to using it. You can use it in the floating mode, you can use it in the stable mode, a portrait mode, which is probably pretty cool when you're doing FaceTime videos and stuff like that. I'm gonna like that mode. And then you got the foldable mode, obviously, when you're not using the stand. So I just wanted to show this to you guys because I picked it up. I thought it would be a neat addition, especially if you just got the new iPad in your hands. And this is the case right here on the actual iPad. It's very, very nice. It's got the little slit up here for the actual Apple Pencil. You got your volume rocker buttons that are covered and your power button. Speaker grills are pretty good as far as they're not being covered, or there's not, you know, you're gonna be able to hear everything fine. And then of course the port for the charging is uncovered as well. As you can see, very, very thin, not much bulk added onto it with the stand. So I think that's pretty cool. And then this is the little stand here. You put your finger there and that pops out. And then this is that stable mode that they were talking about. So you can kind of, you know, depending on how you actually mess with it, you can pretty much use it any way. That way you can type and use the keyboard, and it's actually very stable when it comes out to being like that. So I think that's pretty nice. Then if you open it up this way, this is how you get that floating mode. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this is like an additional kickstand that adds out and comes in through the back. So that way, when you are on this floating mode, it gives it just a little bit more stability, because we do know that the iPad is a little heavy, especially if you went with the 12.9 inch. So this is the floating mode. I think this is pretty neat. I don't like the fact that it's a little wobbly, but we'll go over that later. But it is pretty cool as far as when it comes down to this. I can see myself having my keyboard, my mouse, and basically using it as a screen, or having my laptop and having this on the side and using Sidecar and having my iPad as a secondary monitor. Now, since it's floating and I can kind of adjust it, it's pretty much gonna be just a side-by-side to the actual MacBook monitor. So then it ends up being pretty nice, and you know, it's not like looking down and looking up when you have it. So I think that is a plus, which is really cool. Now this is also the other mode you can use it, which is portrait mode. Now this one you have to close it a little bit to get it, but there you go. Now you can also use your iPad like that, which is also very nice. I think this mode would be really good for when you're doing FaceTime, because you got the camera up here on the top. So that way you can kind of just have it and you're good to go. And then this mode, which is the one we already talked about, I kind of like it too. It's really stable, it's really nice. Now, as far as price goes, it's not too crazy expensive. It's $54.99. Now there's other not cases, but other stands that you can use it to, you know, stand your iPad and stuff like that. And I think having a case that does it both, so you can use it as a stand and use it as a regular case for the iPad, is putting two together, and at a $54 price, I don't think that's too much to ask for. I think that's a pretty good price to have something like this. I know Kensington made a floating, kind of like a floating dock for the iPad, but that comes with chargers and stuff like that. So that's obviously a lot more, but I mean, in this little form factor, to have something like this, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a nice little case to have. And if you are gonna use the stand and be using your iPad for those kind of things, I think it's a pretty good little case to have. Now, I will tell you, it's definitely not perfect. And I'll tell you my downside of the actual case is this right here. If you see, you kind of have to get it like in the perfect position in order for it to kind of stay still. Now, when you're in this position, this floating position, I mean, touching the actual iPad, if you were to type or do anything here on the iPad, it's a little bit of a hassle because you're typing and the iPad is moving back and forth. And to me, I think that's a little bit too flimsy. I think they should have put a little bit more weight here on the back. Now this is made out of aluminum. Maybe if they would have made a metal or made this plastic piece here that you can tell moves, made this metal, it would be a little bit more stable. But that's one thing that I definitely don't like is how that moves. I mean, I might be nitpicking, but that's one thing that I can't stand. And again, it all depends on how you put it. If you go up and really try to make it floating, like it doesn't hold. No matter what you do, it doesn't hold. And I think it's because of this kickstand. If you see, I put it up and the kickstand just bends because it's plastic. If that would be metal, I think, as you can see, if I'm holding it with my finger, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's still gonna wobble a little bit, but it's not gonna go anywhere. So, I mean, as far as downside, that's really my only downside I can say is if they were to make a second model, a second iteration of this, would be to either add a metal kickstand or make it a little more sturdy. But other than that, using it this mode, I think it's very sturdy. It does not move. Using it in the portrait mode as well, it's also very sturdy, does not move, and it's not gonna fall. So I think that's pretty good if you ask me. The other thing, and let's see if it works now, because sometimes it worked and sometimes, like you see the Apple Pencil sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. There you go, so it's working now. And I think it's because of the way, I don't know if it's just my unit, the one I got, but I don't know if you can see this on camera. This part here where the actual Apple Pencil is, it's very, very flimsy. And as you can tell, you can see the space gray of the iPad coming out. So it's not completely flush how it should be. So sometimes when you set that Apple Pencil on there, it doesn't recognize it. You kind of have to get it there in the right position and then it does recognize it. So that's another con that I think it might be, again, it might be just my model that I got in that has that issue. Maybe the one you order won't have it, but I definitely have to let you guys know because it could be a manufacturer defect. I do know that when they make cases like this does happen, but generally it's flimsy enough that when you do put it, you know, it kind of works. So that's pretty cool. Another thing I picked up from Moft was this Apple Pencil case, which is, I think, very neat. You put your Apple Pencil in there, it holds it, and then if you put the flat part, the magnetic part of the Apple Pencil up, this kind of closes on it, and then now you have a nice little Apple Pencil case to kind of take your pencil around and it doesn't break your tip or anything like that. And also when you have the case, it kind of covers the Apple Pencil as well, and it fits on there pretty good. So I think that's a cool little neat. This is not too much, this is only $19, but it does get on there magnetically and helps the Apple Pencil, as it looks like it, to work a little bit better, as you can tell. So that's probably an add-on that I would automatically get, but now you're looking at $54 plus another $20. So now it's getting up to the $100 range. And for $100, I think you can probably get a better case with the stand incorporated into it. I know there's this case on Amazon that I will be doing a review on that is a very nice case, and it's about that. It's about $60 to $70. So I'll do a review on that one and compare it to this one. But there you guys have it. I wanted to show this for you. You know, I do like Moft. They make good products, so I wanted to show this for you just in case you picked up that new iPad and you wanted a case for it and something that also gave you a little bit more versatility when using the iPad. But there you have it, guys, the Moft case. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Is it worth it? Do you guys want to pick one up? Please let me know. Remember, guys, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're doing amazing, and it's all thanks to you guys. We're gonna keep pushing out videos and keep bringing up a bunch of content for you guys, because that's what you guys deserve. But once again, guys, this is Manny signing out with one more review.